Good evening, everyone. Rayaklin here, your host for Dying a Detroit Lions fan. Just a couple quick messages to kind of get you up to date with everything going on. Um, Not a whole lot of new NFL news at this time, but more want to talk to you real quick in regards to um, the podcast in the same name that I'm also doing at the same time. Before bed last night, I happened to check my email, and I'm really happy to announce that iTunes picked my uh, podcast up. So the podcast is now available on Apple iTunes in their podcast store. Um, I'm really happy to get there. It also brings us to 8 platforms right now for um, to enable you, the listener, to listen to the podcast. Um, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, and now iTunes. I will post all possible ways that you can see or hear the podcast in the notes section of this um, video cast. Uh, so I'm really excited about that. One other thing is I'm looking at trying to figure out how I can kind of take this video cast on the road, so to speak. So I'm digging into some things along those lines. Also, I have a Facebook group, which I'm not sure I've mentioned on the video blog yet or not, but it's acting as a web page for me right now until I can get one created, and I am actively involved in doing that. I hope to have the web page up within a week, 10 days at the most. I'm in the process of securing the domain name now, so that it's locked in and it'll tie in with everything. So looking forward to that. If anybody happens to have web or web design in their background, I'm relatively new to it. I've kind of played with it before, and I've made a couple of websites, but nothing that's really what I want to do for this one in particular. So if you have any kind of knowledge in that, be happy to talk to you, or I'd love to talk to you actually, and kind of get your help and feedback on how to set it up, and maybe co-share my settings for someone that could go in and kind of do it relatively quick. I'm planning on using the WordPress platform for that. I've used it in the past, so I do know a little bit about trying to put information together there in order to create the web page. But I've got some questions in regards to how to keep adding content to it, and do I want to add pages, or do I just want to post on top of posts so it keeps rolling? So I don't know. I've got a lot of questions there. So anybody with any kind of history with constructing a web page, I really appreciate contacting me. My contact information will also be in the segment that explains about the podcast or the video cast, and I can be done by phone. You can email me, Skype. There's umpteen different ways that I've got listed there that I can be contacted. I also have a Discord now for this too, so many different opportunities there. And I don't want to take too much time. The free agency is into effect. Today seems to have been kind of quiet. Nothing really pressing going on other than the fact the NFL has announced that they're intending to go along with plans to start the season when it was due to start, and they're still 5 months out from that, really, from Labor Day weekend. Today's only April 1st, or the week after Labor Day weekend, so early September. But there's an awful lot to be kind of juggle around there. It kind of depends on how this COVID-19 virus thing gets straightened out. There's going to be a lot of people. I've heard things about it could come back in the fall. I don't know if that's just a scare tactic or if it's something that's a reality or not. So that's something we're going to have to take a look at, and I guess we'll all have to kind of live the way. One other quick bright note, I was watching ESPN while I was having dinner, and they're talking about a Tiger versus Phil golf match, which would be great because it's something that can be done live. Social distancing can still be done, and if you happen to see the original one last year, it was really entertaining. Tiger just didn't speak enough. And one of the things, though, that they're talking about with this is they're talking about adding Peyton Manning and Tom Brady to create a foursome out of this, or two twosomes. It would be Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods, and Mickelson and Tom Brady. So I think it would be a great idea. I know I'll sign up to watch it. That's no doubt about that. But at least it's something that might be able to happen. I know in Michigan, the governor has actually closed down the golf courses here, but it's really not weather for golf yet either. We're supposed to have warm weather over the weekend, but who knows what's going to transpire. But I did read that I believe it was Arizona, where the governor there stated the fact that the golf courses were essential, and so they are open. So, one place is one way, one place is another. But then again, from what I've seen, Arizona has really not been in the battlefront, so to speak, when it comes down to cases. So, something to look forward to there, possibly. At least there'd be something on sports. Because it doesn't look like the NBA or baseball or hockey, even for that matter, as anything's going to happen anytime soon. I think best case scenario from basketball or NBA that I heard would be June, and they're really talking about playing without fans, and I don't know. It's going to be kind of weird. So everybody, please stay inside, stay safe. Let's get over this thing. Let's beat this virus. And let's look forward to good times and having some football and other sports going on in effect. Again, we're on iTunes now for podcast, and I will have all that information in the description of this video cast. Sorry for the short one, but have a great night. Again, stay safe, stay a safe distance, social distance, I guess. And all the best to you and yours. Have a great night. We will talk very soon.